Hey Planet Sewers, it's Mathletee here with my Meerkat and Fennec Fox station build with the Africa DLC pack. Stick around in the end. I do have some video of my most favorite Meerkat pose. And anyway, here we are. So I am decorating this station here. You may remember it from some of my past videos. I had what I called an air station. Hello, Ruby. I've restarted this recording 4 times already, so that one stays. Anyway, I had originally started building with an aquatic theme around the shops in the air above this station. And when the DLC came out for the Africa pack, I started building this station here just to cover it up. I didn't like the aquatic theme it had going, and the build wasn't that pleasing to me. And I had decided I'm going to put the Meerkats and Fennec Fox over here with my African theme food court that I had placed for a different video. So I started covering this station up with the new plaster pieces that are in the Africa DLC pack that launched on Tuesday. And as I was building it, I decided, of course, to record it. I could use it for a later video. And hello again, Ruby. Except I get this grand idea as I'm building it when I place the Meerkat and Fennec Fox statues that they have around the 3 entryways on the front and the back. Hello, Ruby. She thinks my idea is funny, I guess. Anyway, I put those down, and when I was looking at the station from the back side, I got this idea that, well, what if the shelter for the Meerkat and the Fennec Fox is right as they come off the train and they can see into it. I later realized a flaw after I had the whole build pretty much done. I was just doing small details. I realized that guests are not obviously going to stop on the station to look at them, because that would keep the train from being able to move. The game keeps them moving. They have to exit that platform before they can look at anything. I did think about pushing it back to add a path going back around from the stairs, but I ran out of time before putting this out, so I might do that at a later time so that guests can actually walk back there. If y'all would like me to, if you're downloading this off my workshop, I can definitely make that change and update the blueprint. Just let me know in the comments here or in the comments on the Steam item itself if you'd like me to do that. And here I was just making my life a little more easy to duplicate what I had going on that shop there, just to plop it over there instead of doing each one by one. And today is animals be on their worst behavior day. Ruby has taken flight, and I have Chloe the husky over here panting at me. I'm not sure what she wants. And of course, Klaus the corgi is in tow. Anyway, so I really like this new piece here with the stained glass, and I love how a lot of the stuff in this pack is Flexicolor. It's so exciting. I love being able to tie the pieces into the theme and color scheme that I want. I really enjoy having that option instead of having to make everything fit the color of the item or not use it because it's gonna clash with everything else. So originally I was just going to copy this over and just have them side by side, and it looked like that may not be a possibility based off of size. And when I got over here, I liked the crossover look, so I just offset one of them to go inside the other, and that way it didn't really matter too much if the spacing didn't totally work out. And what you see here is all of my invisible barriers for both habitats, because I wanted the guests to be able to see both species from this exit path, and I wanted the sleeping areas to match with the little statues that I had put down. So originally I had one idea for how I wanted the habitat gates to be, but when I started working on the Meerkat side, the habitat was huge. I don't have that many Meerkats in there, nor did I want to put that many, and I was afraid it was so huge they may not go to the front side and the guests would not be able to see them. So I took that part of my editing out, because I'm going to just null barrier basically one habitat into the other. And so since I'm just going to put the ground back down, sorry, Ruby is banging on her cage and it's very distracting. Anyway, since I was going to flatten to surface, there we go, I just took that part of the video out. So ignore the holes, all that's going to change. And I didn't put that in the video either, of me putting it back to a boring flat surface. So I'm just enjoying here all the different plaster pieces with the, I'm not sure what those are, the pillars. And then I'm loving the one-way glass that's also new, that isn't a barrier, so you can place it how you like. And so I chose that, and turning everything to the pink and yellow scheme that I decided to go with. Oddly enough, pink is not anywhere close to my favorite color. It's actually purple, but it's very rare that purple buildings look good, in my opinion. And I went with the theme of everything else over here. So I have the yellow of the giant otter habitat, and I have the pink from the hippo house that's in the background there. So anyway, I've got a couple Fennec boxes already in there. I wanted to see if they could escape through the new piece that I used there. I liked the way that it looked, but I was afraid, since they're so tiny, that they might be able to escape through it in game. I think in reality they probably could, but the game says that they cannot, so I'm going to go with it. I really like the design, and I'm lining this up. That's going to be a little front section for my Meerkats, and I'm going to build them a little stair and crossway to get over there, copying over those pillars just to give a little bit of interest right there and cover up a little of that awkward meeting of those two pieces, closing off those little two spots so that it doesn't go through awkwardly, but the two different animals can't get into each other's space. And so right now I am creating their covered shelter, and I'm going to put their bedding area in here, along with some more of that new glass, one-way glass that came with the pack. I am attempting to hold Ruby to see if it helps with her chatter, and unfortunately she's not screaming, but she's very excited that I am interacting with her. And just an FYI, I did discover when I was doing some terraforming of my Meerkat habitat that if you have an animal that is underneath where you are flattening the surface, in this instance the animal ended up boxed outside of the boundary of my zoo. It was a very interesting place to find it. I got a notification that an animal had been boxed too long, and its location was a box outside of the boundaries. I was very amused. Another thing I found out, I was struggling with some of my arrows kind of going wonky on me, and I wasn't really sure why, because based on how I think that the arrows should work, when I have a group, they should be in the center. So for instance, when I was trying to build the first section of the roof, it would not duplicate with the arrows in the right direction, and I was really confused, and a couple of times it was probably hard to see in the speed build, but I experienced what some other people had experienced, where you go to copy and your copy is invisible. So I would right click to cancel and do another one. What I found out was, when I was building the Meerkat stairs in their little jog space across the habitat, I had a moment where when I was looking for the advanced move arrows, they weren't there. I was super confused and did it a couple of times. Finally I decided, let me scroll out, see what I can see, and I noticed that the arrows were very far away, and I thought, well, that's interesting. So I reselected what I was working on, scrolled back out, saw a selection way far away, and it looked to be underground. So when I went to investigate, I discovered there was a copy of what I was working on down there, as well as several of the Meerkat statues and roof pieces as well. It was really interesting. So I guess currently when things ghost in the game as you're copying them, be careful. They may be in the same group, just underground. If that happens to you, you can maybe use my experience, look around, see if you have any pieces hiding underground. And update on Ruby, I managed to get her in her sleepy cage. That is actually really hard to do. She can grab the front. It's really frustrating, but I managed to get her in there. Usually my husband does that. It's actually technically his bird. Anyway, so hopefully no more squawks from Ruby. And I really like that same design right here. So I did the wall and just put a block in so that I could put in my Meerkats. I knew I wasn't done sizing the habitat for them, but I wanted to get this ramp in for them with the stairs, and they kept escaping, and I needed to be able to check the map there, the heat map, to see if they could interact with it and get over. I thought it was interesting that they could get over with just 2 wide going up, but then they needed 3 wide going down. And when I had to adjust this, I was so excited it was working. And then I thought, oh, I need to check the staff traversable area to make sure that they can get over this as well as under it. And unfortunately, I mean, in real life, I feel like they could duck under that, but whatever. They could not get under it, so I had to raise it up a little higher. And when I raised it up a little higher, the Meerkats were not able to go down the 3 wide side. So I ended up just adjusting the downside to have 1 more width of stair instead of adjusting both sides, because as you can see, I keep filling in. Some of those pieces that are in there are now no longer necessary. But anyway, I am going to include this little stairway on my workshop separately. It's not perfect. It's not flush in all spaces. I am not the master of that. But anyway, it is up there in its imperfect form. If you'd like to use it for anything that you want to have in your zoo, either for your keepers or for meerkats, or see if another animal can use it. Let me know if you discover another animal that's able to go up and down these little stairs, if you decide to put that in. And right here, there's where I'm noticing something is attached, and there's random pieces, and there's my little cult of statues underground. Anyway, I got rid of those, and we're back to getting our meerkats across the Fennec fox habitat so that they have a nice spot for guests to view them, since they won't be able to actually stop and look through the section on the train station platform. They do like to congregate up on the stairs going up to the food court, and they can also look down on them. I think we'll be doing that part here in a moment. And right now I'm moving meerkats. I had built a temporary block for them to get them all in this habitat, but now I need to close off their space a little bit. It was way too large for them, so I just brought this back some and moving my habitat gate to kind of just fit how the rest of it was built with the grid pieces, and closing off those little gaps so those little guys can't escape. I still feel that realistically the meerkats could get through those little openings in the wall, but the game says they can't escape, so woohoo, we'll use them. Alright, let's get those enrichments in for those meerkats. Oddly enough, maybe they don't like leaves. Maybe I should change it to the straw bedding, but I haven't seen the meerkats or the Fennec fox actually use the bedding. Usually when I check, they're just sleeping on the ground on the outside of the habitat. I really don't know a whole lot about them, so maybe that is a normal behavior for them. So here we are. When I checked, I can see the hard shelter for the meerkat was not satisfied, and my guess is the staircase is counting for the Fennec fox, and for the meerkat, what I have going on for the ceiling of this building is too open and too high potentially to register. So I started off building this a little bit lower. Ultimately, I will raise it up a little higher. I could see at a certain angle here, it just bothered me with the difference in level. So I decided to go ahead and bring it up level with the floor of the food court. It made more sense to me. Also left a little bit less of an open area, made it a little more realistic to me at why this wouldn't be fully floored off. Also, we do have a train going underneath, so nice and open and airy. And putting in support beams, and mostly I was just covering where they meet. It bothered me. I could see it. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, or it doesn't bother you, so you don't put them in. I do wish we had, I know it's new and I'm super excited to have it, but I do wish this came in one big piece like the other glass panel does. They have some that are super large, but I'll be happy with what I got. I think it still turned out to be super cute over here, even though it's not quite as functional as I originally envisioned. I wasn't thinking again about how they don't stop, which is a good thing on the train stations. I was trying different things here, seeing what they look like, how big they are, and that beam was just way too big. So adding in my little stair barriers. These also act as a good guide if you download this on what size path I used, where it went. When I made the original pathing for this, I think I did gridding off of one of the vendors from upstairs and brought the stairs down almost smack into the exit so that when they got off the train, they could go up and over to go visit the giant otters and the pygmy hippos that are over there, or they could go straight off and to whatever's over here, which was nothing at the time. I do have kind of two food courts right next to each other, but even though they're right next to each other, the guests are still using both. I have a monorail station that's the next closest thing to this station. If you can't tell, I love transport stations. But anyway, so if they're coming from that direction, the Africa theme food court that's in the background of this build is the first little shopping area they'll get to. And then if they're getting off the train here or coming from the hippos or the otters, this train station court is the first shopping opportunity that they have for a while in the zoo. Originally, this zoo was just me plopping down blueprints and has grown. So I did edit out a lot of my past struggles that were going on right there. I decided to move these over here. The path kept really wanting to connect to them, and it was driving me bonkers. So originally they were off to the right, and again I get fooled by the null barriers. Sometimes they are not in the way, and other times they really mess with my ability to do things, particularly pathing. I don't know why that is. I can put the barrier down wherever I want on the path, but I cannot path however I want to through the barriers, which is a little frustrating. And I really didn't want to delete the barriers and redo all that. So for you, if you do download this and you want those paths to go a little bit closer, you can always scoot some of those facilities a little further away and then move those or delete them before you put in any animals, the null barriers right there, and get your path going and then put them back. That would be my suggestion. That's something I'm still thinking about doing. These aren't considered dangerous animals, so it really wouldn't bother my guests if I did that, or even if I had it on pause. But anyway, sometimes the alert and the time it takes for those to go away, I just don't want to bother with it. Yeah, I am stuttery today. So I decided to go with this new beam here, and I thought it looked pretty cool as I put it down the staircase. So I flipped this and then reversed it to the other side. I did notice during my walkthrough it looked okay from this angle, but as I went up the stairs, they did look a little awkward, like they need to be shifted on the right side just a little bit, getting everything moving. I'm thinking to myself, ooh, I'm almost done. So I'm redoing my queue path so that all of those openings make a little more sense. So I decided they'll go in and out through those and get some new foliage in. I really like those trees, and the little yellow hue that they have just goes great with everything I have over here with colors, yellow and the pink. I should probably change that food court over there. It's a mud building, so I could change the color of it to have it blend in a little more with its surroundings. I'm a little foggy in the brain today, I guess. I'm having stutter moments. They happen to me quite often, but at least I'm not losing words. That happens to me too. I can't remember simple words, and somebody has to help me get unstuck by saying the word. It's the oddest occurrence. If you've never had it happen to you, that's a good thing. It's very frustrating for me when it happens to me. So see here, I saw that those arrows, I don't understand that, so I probably need to go looking to see if something's underground. There's no reason for those arrows to suddenly not be in the same alignment as everything else was. But anyway, I got those pieces moved. I really wanted that to go underneath, but it ran into the train, so I didn't think that was very realistic, even though I have collision turned off. That being said, if you do struggle with any stations mine or someone else's. You may want to check your settings and turn off collision for your transport rides. It does make building these a little bit easier. And getting some screenshots. Those were my Meerkats using the ramp I made them. Yeah, there's the Fennec fox taking a little nap. I'm going to run around with one for a moment. They are so cute. Oh, look at that. They're pouncing each other. I love how they use the tennis ball. I did not expect them to be so tiny. They're so adorable though. And here's the Meerkats. They have cute noises. And they hold each other. I love how they hold each other. That's my favorite pose. And these guys have cute little squeaks. They're so cute. Their big ears remind me of corgis. Alrighty. Anyway, let's take a tour. We got a little peek at the animals and their habitat. And we're going to go through the... Oh, excuse me. I hate how they walk faster than the Teget Cam does. But we're going to walk through the line here and just get a look and a feel for what it's like for our guests. But yeah, the Teget Cam, it's slower than the guest walk. But if you hit shift, I feel like it's just way too fast. And there's their little sleeping quarters from the inside. So we're just going to go this way and get out of line and go across the grass. We're bad guests. Come up here. Here's the food court eating area. I did forget ATMs and lighting. Oh no. I guess I'll need to add that, and I'll update my blueprint in about a week or so. I got a lot going on this week, midweek, end week. Anyway, here's the little area where they can look down and see the Meerkats. And we just went by where they can see the Fennec fox from above. Oops, I fell off. And here's the view from the platform. And we're going to go out this way. Oh, they're throwing trash at us. Oh, a Meerkat. And there it goes, across the ramp. I was so excited. They're so funny at how fast they run across that. And there goes a Meerkat behind the mound there. Oh, there's 3 of them. They're quirky and quick. Alright, and let's see. I don't see a Fennec fox here. Let's go over this window. I don't see one there either. Oh, there's one. And it's swimming in place. It's treading water. I wonder if I have to go move it out of there. Interesting. Anyway, the things that happen in games sometimes. And I also included the education board on the workshop for you guys too. Just a quick look of what it looks like from back here. Guests do like to come over here and look at the Meerkats from way over there. I don't know why. And they also do it for the Fennec fox. So I may need to try out those. He's still swimming. Try out the vista points and see if that will keep them from doing that. Let's go in here and have a look at our Fennec foxes one more time, since I'm not getting a good guest view of them at the moment. Oh, they got fed, so they're all going to come out. Oh, he came out of the water. All right, good. He's not stuck. And as you can see, there's that one-way glass. Let's go back out here. Let's see if... No, excuse me. Rude. I was doing this earlier, but I didn't realize I wasn't recording. And they did the same thing, except I was right here. Oh, there goes that one. Back in the water. Thank you so much for watching my video today. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button too if you enjoy my content. And I will see you on Sunday with my next episode for the Houston Zoo build.